I'm from Cape Town, South Africa.
Michaela Graney doesn't really do cold.
In degrees Celsius, you don't get like colder than like 11, which I think is like 55 here.
So how did the freshman field hockey player wind up in the middle of Indiana?
I emailed 100 different universities, D1 field hockey schools, and just hope for the best.
A blanketing of programs.
And I went onto their rosters to find their coaches and everything, and honestly, I had no idea who I was emailing.
And no idea what she'd get in response.
I emailed and they replied. And then, like, my grades are pretty good, I like to think, but they told me that they would really like me to come play field hockey, but I wasn't smart enough to go to their school. So that was probably the most memorable one.
It's fine. That particular school tells 92% of the people that apply the exact same thing. But then came another email.
Coach Byrne emailed back and she was like, "Hi, I'm really interested. Can you send me video footage?" And that's all she said. So I was like, okay, I sent video footage straight away, and I think she FaceTimed me like 2 weeks after that.
One thing led to another, and then Graney actually enrolled early for spring practice last year.
The spring is the toughest part of our season because it's just running and running and running. Like, we play maybe like 2 hours of field hockey a week, and I'd never run like ever because we don't do fitness back home. Like, it's just field hockey all the time.
But very quickly became no field hockey. No, nothing. None of the time.
It all happened in like 1 week with like the pandemic. Like, Coach Byrne called me and was like, "If you can get home, go." I got on a flight to go to my friends in North Carolina. My parents knew them because they studied with them, and then they moved from South Africa here like 20 years ago. So I had no idea who they were. And I got stuck there because they closed the borders back home, so I couldn't get home. So it was kind of awkward like the first few weeks because I had no idea who these people were. But like they're really good friends now, and I go stay there when I need to.
Now Michaela did wind up arriving home, eventually.
So I live in the Western Cape, and I had to go to a completely different province when I landed in South Africa. And I had to quarantine there by myself for 2 weeks. And then I had to get a bus from there back home, which was like a 20-hour bus ride by myself, which was so, and I got home, and the first thing I did was I cried.
And yet she did actually come back to the US for school this fall. Like the fall.
The second spike hit, and they closed the borders here, so I couldn't actually get back. So I only got back here in October.
Come February though, her winding path eventually led where it was meant.
I'd been here over a year, and I'd never played a game, which was like, but technically not even here, because like I'd been studying at this university, but I've only been here for like 4 months. Finally, things started like happening. And then like our first game, like I was walking on the field, like, and I was like starting at the back, and I was like shaking. I was like, oh my word, like it's happening now. Like, it was actually crazy.
Wobbly kneed, Graney actually scored in her Ball State debut and stepped into a huge role, moving senior Rachel Pereira from center back.
I knew Rachel before because she was from South Africa. When I came, they said, "We want you to go into the back," and I knew that was a lot of responsibility. The fact that they had to move someone like Rachel there, and now that they thought that I could take that position was quite scary, especially coming in as a freshman.
But one with big goals and big dreams.
I want to play in the Olympics. There's always someone that's training harder than you, so I need to train that extra bit harder to actually get that goal one day.